I am in the Republic of Lithuania, more specifically in the beautiful castle, lakeside town of Takai. But we are not here for Lithuania's natural beauty or medieval history. We are here yet again for their national sandwich, the Lasciane. A brief history of Lasciane. Lithuania, the final stop on the Baltic swing, and having the least amount of actual Baltic coastline. Thus, its sandwich is very land-based. Lasciane, like most Lithuanian traditional foods, is a pork product. In fact, it is just smoked pork fat. A practice that dates back to the Baltic tribes and the Lithuanian pagans, who ate pretty much every part of the pig, from the pig meat to the pig fat to even the pig ears. But in the 1300s, the Teutonic Knights pulled up to try and bring the Lithuanians some Jesus, but they united a Grand Duchy and said no thank you. The Grand Duke Gediminas did allow people to convert, but he kept his pagan beliefs and his pagan smoked meats. He would expand Lithuania east, conquering much of modern-day Belarus and Ukraine, as well as founding the capital city of Vilnius after a pretty crazy trip with an iron wolf. This large medieval Grand Duchy was able to spread this pork fat dish across the region and is still enjoyed in places like Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia today in what they call salo, which is like Lasciane but is salted instead of smoked. The Lithuanians themselves, however, were not as successful at spreading, making them a linguistic and cultural minority even inside their own Grand Duchy. This problem would only increase when Lithuania entered a personal union with Poland to fight some Teutonic Knights, and was only made worse with the Treaty of Lublin in 1569, when Poland and Lithuania officially combined to form the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth! A massive nation with one legislative, one king, and one court language, that is, Polish. Surprisingly, Poland, despite being the smaller nation at the time, was much more populated and had a bigger cultural impact, making Lithuanians still part of the country's government, but let's just say it's not called the Lithuanian Polish Commonwealth, if you know what I mean. But with teaming up with Poland comes with Polish problems, as seen in my Poland video, as both Poland and Lithuania were erased from the map due to the Polish partitions. Lithuania was now under the Russian Empire, which they did not enjoy very much, leading to the declaration of the Republic of Lithuania in 1918 during the First World War. The Russians then tried to invade Lithuania, capturing Vilnius and forcing the government to move to Kaunas. But who is there to fight off the Russians? Well, it's Lithuania's old friend Poland, recently independent and reconquering Vilnius. Surely, after centuries working together, they'll restore it to the rightful Lithuania. Oh, Poland's keeping it? And they're fighting a war with Lithuania, and the rest of the world and the League of Nations said, yeah, no, that's a Polish city now. And the Lithuanian dream of freedom and its historic and cultural capital is now crushed until... Oh, never mind. Someone says they want to recognize Lithuania's claim on Vilnius. That's great. I wonder who it is. Oh, it's this... They just annexed eastern Poland, and they're willing to give Lithuania Vilnius. All they have to do is allow some military access. Oh, never mind. The Soviet Unions are annexing Lithuania, and now the Nazis are invading, and now the war is over, and now Lithuania is unfortunately part of the USSR. The Lithuanians, on their part, were not too happy about this whole arrangement, and now it's time to discuss how Lithuania destroyed the USSR. As seen in my other Baltic videos, all the Baltic states held hands in a giant human chain in 1998 called the Baltic Way as a form of massive protest. However, this did not change the fact they were still under Soviet rule. So, in March of 1990, Lithuania became the first of all the Soviet states to declare independence. And then the Soviet Union said, no, you can't do that. And they're like, yes, we can. So then Moscow applied sanctions, and then that didn't work, so they sent a group of Soviet troops, but Lithuania still did not revoke its declaration, and even places like Iceland and Denmark were recognizing Lithuania. Then there was a coup back in Moscow, which led to the other republics looking at Lithuania as the example and saying, I guess we can also declare independence too, and the CCCP ceased to be. Lithuania was finally free and can enjoy their classic Lithuanian foods like Lasciane in their beautiful new republic. This Lasciane is commonly served on some famous black bread, part of the 3 B's of Lithuania: bread, beer, and basketball. Well, we'll get to that one later, but of course, it's time to try this classic Lithuanian dish right here in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, where we are going to get our smoked pork fat at any one of the many grocery stores. Sveki, labas, other Lithuanian words I Google translated, and welcome to Alex's Lithuanian Kitchen. Am I Lithuanian? No. Do I know anything about Lithuanian cuisine? Not really. But the soup is pink, and it's also cold. And we're here to make Lithuania's national, not really popular sandwich. Every Lithuanian I talk to is like, really? But Look, they have good food here. Sandwiches are just not very popular. As you can see, fun Lithuanian things that aren't sandwiches. The bread and, of course, the beer. The basketball comes later, but now we begin with our Baltic black bread. And, of course, the lashene. Look at this, folks. We got this smoked pork fat. And right here you see is still actually the skin of the pig. They keep it on nice and smoky, nice and fatty. The lashene from the local Lithuanian grocery store. So let's assemble the sandwich, the bread, the pork fat. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, bon appetit. Um, okay. Hold up. Okay. So this is normally a bar snack. Maybe that will help. Have my official Battle of Grunwald themed beer. Shout out to the Lithuanians' victory over the Teutonic Knights. A little bit of beer, a little bit of bread. One more time. Mm. Okay, it's not bad, but it reminds me a lot of another Lithuanian dish. You can get in Lithuania like a boiled pork ear, and it's like chewy and porky and smoky, and not a great texture. This is a little better than that pork ear texture, less cartilage involved, it's just fat. But maybe it's because I'm thinking about that pork ear, maybe it's because the combo itself. I get why you eat it, but I'll tell you, there's much better things to eat in Lithuania. Oof. Well, we covered the bread and we covered the beer. Now it's time for basketball. Here you'll see a group of Lithuanians balling, as the kids say. Lithuania, weirdly enough, is one of the only countries in the world where soccer or football is not the most popular sport, but rather basketball. Of course, they love basketball here. It's like a religion. Lithuania, from their national team to the NBA in America. Lithuanians even have multiple spots in the NBA Basketball Hall of Fame. So shout out to all the Lithuanian basketballers out there. And Lithuania has more than just basketball. Let's go see a whole lot of what's happening in this lovely Baltic country. Like stunning Catholic churches that are literally everywhere, because Lithuania is very Catholic. But of course, there's also medieval architecture and, of course, stuff from the Baroque area under the Grand Duchy. Or maybe go to Užupis, which is kind of a country, but not really. I don't know. They have their own constitution. It's this whole artsy neighborhood in Vilnius. But, at least the beer is pretty good. Lithuania is also known for its distinct cuisine, being a mixture of course, some classic Lithuanian dishes with some Polish and Russian influences. But altogether, Lithuania has some of the most interesting dishes you have to try. Like here in Kaunas, famous for inventing the cold beetroot soup I mentioned earlier, the pink šaltibarščiai. Yes, a scrumptious pink soup, actually super refreshing on a hot summer day. I do apologize for my Lithuanian pronunciation. Even though the soup is good, my Lithuanian ability to speak it is not great. But that's okay, because one of my favorite Lithuanian dishes is right here. It's called zepelinas, which are easy to pronounce, as easy as they are to eat. The only problem is when you order two of them, they will fill you up faster than anything you've ever eaten before. It is literally just potato dumpling filled with any kind of meat and topped with a variety of toppings. Here it's sour cream and bacon, and it is as delicious as it looks. Or if you still have room after that, get some skakatos, the Lithuanian tree cake, which looks very spiky and crispy, but it's actually very soft and delicious. If you want some crispiness, there is these Lithuanian fried pieces of rye bread. They're covered in a cheese mayo. It's actually garlicky and scrumptious. And if you still have room, there is kibine, which are from Trakai, or technically a Turkish group that moves to Trakai. It's a whole thing, but nevertheless, they are as scrumptious. They're these little meat pockets. And wash it all down with some Lithuanian bread juice, which is like beer without the fun part. Well, there you have it. Lithuania, a beautiful, historic, and rich country full of a lot of things. Now, we experienced the three Bs, the beer, the basketball, and the bread. Unfortunately, on top of that bread was that pork fat. Look, not Lithuanian food is actually surprisingly really good, from their soups to their potato dishes to even their pastries. But I will say, Lithuanian pork stuff, not my favorite. Of course, come to Lithuania though, please. It is a wonderful, beautiful, and modernizing country here in the southernmost of the Baltics, and I'd highly recommend you stop by.
Tik par